Good afternoon. This is Nithin Ramachandra, episode 3 of the Nithin Sports Rush. Man, welcome back. I hope everyone had a great weekend. Now we're off to a new week. I can't believe April's almost over. We're almost into May, so that's crazy to think about. But today I'm back with another special episode, this time with two-time heavyweight champion in the boxing world, Tim Witherspoon, my good friend. Is joining the show today. Before we bring him in, I want to talk about his resume, man. What a great career. Legendary boxer. Like I said, two-time heavyweight championship. He had some great fights in his career. He was 69-55 with 38 knockouts. Man, and he's up there with Mike Tyson, Larry Holmes, you name it, Buster Douglas, Evander Holyfield. Man, he's good friends with them too. And but what a great legendary career. And I can't thank him enough for doing this show today. And I was actually with him at the GTSM shows 4 weeks ago, helping out with his documentary, which we'll get to talk about his career journey and the documentary that he's working on. And without further ado, Tim Witherspoon, thank you for joining.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me on.
Hey, Tim. Thank you for coming on. And like I said, I was with you 4 weeks ago, and you killed it in the GTSM shows and during the documentary film. And we had a bunch of other athletes come join you with the quick segments talking about that. And so I want to start off with that documentary. And what does that mean to you to have your team, your family members, your daughter part of it, even us? And thank you for including us into the documentary and
Yes.
then being able to have for the athletes to have time, especially they're during all the signings. Talk about that moment at the GTSM shows.
Yeah, that was beautiful. There was a lot of other stars there, football based. There was everybody signing autographs. I've been in the presence of a lot of different sportsmen over in England, Ireland, America. It was just brought back really good feelings for me. We were signing autographs, meeting new people. There was younger generations there, and it was really great. It was really great situation there. It's going to be really nice putting all that on the documentary, adding these things on, the things that I went through and other people went through. The people that's being shot went through things too.
Yeah.
So we all just putting it together. A lot of people probably wonder where Tim Witherspoon at, and this will probably help them find out where I was or where I am.
Yeah, so I can't wait to see that and be part of it too. And
We had fun.
it was a great time when we did that. But Tim, I want to talk about your early life. You were born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and talk about that and growing up in Philly. And when did you get in the game of boxing? And who would you say that you looked up to in the game of boxing?
Okay. I was born and raised in South Philadelphia, down in an area called, it was 7th Street, 7th Street. But we lived on like 5th. But the area, if you say 7th, and namely everybody in Philly know. Real quick, like as a young person, a lot of the black people relate to the neighborhood through a gang. Like say like 5th Street, 5th and South was a gang, and 7th and I was 7th and Emily. So if you say that to a lot of like black, they'll know, they say, oh yeah, we know where that's at. So I was born and raised near the Italian Market where Sylvester Stallone made the movie Rocky, and later on went on to become the two-time heavyweight champion Philly. So I played football. I went to South Philadelphia High. We were a bunch of black people that lived in between the Irish and Italian, and then we had a lot of Jewish people living on 7th Street in our neighborhood, and a lot of the blacks would work for them. So, I played football. I started out playing football. My mentor was Tommy Wade, a guy that took us to church every Sunday. I wasn't in gangs. No, I got 10 siblings. And I'm the 4th oldest. I'm the 4th oldest, and my oldest brother Ralph, we call him Go-Go. He was in gang, but he never let us. And I was too scared anyway to get in gangs. So Tommy Wade got us involved in sports. Take us to church every Sunday. He come in. He worked for NBC. He would come in and take us to church, then go, we play baseball on Friday, Saturday, go to church on Sunday. And he would do that like every weekend. And we didn't want to disappoint him by getting in the gangs and being bad. So just like 6 or 7 other, my brother Anthony, my brother Steve, Bernard, there was a Butchie Knight, he passed away. Keith David, a whole lot of kids. We would look forward to him coming in from New York, even though he was from our block. And he got us started on sports and everything.
Wow.
I mean, I was an all Philadelphia tight end. Yeah, I was a tight end for Philly, and then I had a 4-year football scholarship to University, Lincoln University, Missouri. Then I got hurt and I came home. Real quick. I caught it. I was doing really good. I started as a freshman.
Wow.
Right, and I was catching the pass. I caught it, and then I came down. There was 2 cornerbacks, and boom. And they slid down my legs. I was getting ready to break loose, and this big linebacker spared me in the back.
Oh my God.
So that kind of like ended my career, not ended my career in football. I love it. And I came home, and that's how the boxing started. Once I came home, we had a 4-year paid. Me and Keith Davis had our 4 years were paid for. An average person would go to school and get the education.
Yeah.
But we wasn't thinking, we wasn't thinking. So I left and came home. Real quick, I ran into a couple of people that was boxing. Buster Drayton, who was junior middleweight champion of the world, he passed away. Kenny Reese, they went to the old Passion gym down there, the Italian Market, where Sylvester Stallone made the movie.
Yeah.
And so that's how we started. Went there, met the trainer Clarence Booker. So real quick, and then you could come on. A lot of boxers, a lot of them, when they go into gyms, they don't really know who's a good trainer or not. And that's what happened with us. Clarence Booker was an old trainer who was affiliated with Boogaloo Watts, the middleweight guy. Yeah, he was affiliated with him, but he really couldn't teach. And we didn't know. Young people don't know when they go into a gym who could teach. They just go in just go in. So I went in and I won like 6 out of 7 fights. I lost to Joe Frazier's son in the amateurs, and then you can come in and ask me the question. Then I can tell you more. As long as you know the beginning of how I started, then we can fill in some more blanks. So I lost the Marvis Frazier. But when I turned pro, I don't think they wanted to fight me because I had a really good trainer.
Yeah.
Robinson, who was slim, was the man.
Wow. Yeah. So speaking of that injury, that if that injury didn't happen in football, would you think you would have been still playing at that time if there was no injury?
Yeah, yes, I think I'm almost sure because I was doing really good. I started as a freshman. I didn't lift a lot of weights, and that's what I think was missing out of my career. Me being an athlete, we didn't lift a lot of weights as football, and they wanted us to, but I didn't really lift a lot of weights. A lot of guys were much stronger than me, but I can get the job done. And then we went to boxing. We found out that in our era, a lot of trainers didn't like us lifting. Now, when Holyfield and Tyson and they was lifting weights like crazy, but the old timers didn't believe in lifting weights. And I believe if I would have been lifting weights like Tyson and Holyfield and them, woo, I'm telling you, So the old timers, they didn't want us lifting weights. And I think a lot of people in the public out there in the world don't remember that or don't know of that. See, if we try to lift weights, the trainers like, you better not be lifting the weights. They would tell us that. Now, these guys today, they lifting weights, they doing all kind of stuff. So I look back in the day and I said, you know what? If I was lifting like Holyfield and Tyson, the limits would have been
different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah. So for you, what was it like having mentors and Tommy Wade, and you mentioned Clarence Booker, and then multiple trainers in your career? So talk about that. Talk about the mentors you had in your life that helped you get to this point and become the 2-time heavyweight champion in boxing. So talk about those 3 individuals in general.
Okay, and Peter Iskin, my
Yeah,
Jewish,
yeah.
my Jewish big brother. All those guys combined together, helped me go in the right direction. Even though I was too scared to be in the gang and shoot and stab and all that, I just don't, So all of them put together like molded me out. Tommy was there all the time. Peter Iskin was his name. Peter Iskin was my Jewish brother, big brother, who picked us up on the weekends and take us to the suburbs, and we would. This was the first time a white person kissed me, right? So I was, no, me and my brother. So Peter Iskin was the only. We keep going back and forth, but we're going to get it right.
Yeah.
Peter Iskin was the only white person during that time that can come into our neighborhood after the sun go down. He went to Penn University, and I don't know what kind of program he was in, but he would come down to this recreation center, Owen, named it was St. Martha's.
Mm-hmm.
He would come there and work with the black kids and stuff like that. And here it is, this Jewish guy coming in a black neighborhood, right? And so I think he picked the two of the young kids that was nicer, that wasn't really bad. Me and my brother, he would take us to the suburbs on out like every other weekend. He would take us there. We was introduced to a lot of the Jewish customs, matzah soup, all that kind of stuff. He was really he played a part in our lives too. I love the guy, and I haven't seen him in a long time. But I'm gonna get back in touch with Peter. But he was like family, like my actually took up for me. When we were playing football in Cheltenham outside of Philly, we was playing like football against these other guys, right? So something happened where this big white guy, he started coming towards me and he took up for me, Peter. Peter pushed the guy and said, he said, yo, just back off and go somewhere. He actually took up for me. And he was like a, Penn University, straight A's and B's, not in the streets and type like thing. These are all the things that helped me become who I am today. All these nice people, me not wanting to really get in the bad situations. I was too scared. But if something happened, I would protect myself. But I made sure that I didn't want to be in the bad situations because I knew my mom and Peter, guys like Peter and Tommy Wade, who really pushed hard to help us go in the right direction.
Yeah. So you were you're 6'3". You had an orthodox stance and a 78 reach. So talk about
more about it than me.
Yeah, so talk about that and having that advantage there in some of your matches, and talk about your debut. Take us back to your debut, your first match ever, and talk about that having an orthodox stance in the boxing.
Yeah, I was really confident because of my trainer.
Yeah,
and he was everybody respected him. He also trained Mike Rossman, the Jewish bomber. Mike Rossman, Mike Rossman was kicking everybody, but so I was with Clarence Booker, but I had to leave him. Real quick. I was with Clarence Booker, and somebody, I had went somewhere and somebody had told me, he said, how come you ain't take that job with Larry Holmes? He wanted you to spar when he was going to pay you good. And I said, what you talking about? He said, yeah, Larry Holmes contact your trainer and wanted to hire you as a sparring partner. I said, what? Oh, wow. He said, yeah, but your trainer turned it down. I said, what? So I didn't go to I cut my trainer off when he did that. I didn't go back to him. I left him and I went up to Muhammad Ali's camp to spar with Matthew Saad Muhammad. Yeah. I think it was Matthew Saad Muhammad. So that's what happened with me. How Slim got into my life. Clarence Booker knew eventually I was going to find out. He's a really nice older guy too. He would have known. I would have found out that he really wasn't sufficient enough to get me to the title.
Yeah.
He was okay, but he wasn't like Slim. And so I left when I found out that Larry Holmes wanted to hire me as a sparring partner, and he turned it down and didn't tell me. So I left him, went up to Ali's camp, started meeting different people. And I forgot the question that you asked me. And then I came home. After we just finished. I think it was Saad Muhammad. I also sparred with Eddie Mustafa, but Muhammad. But I came home, and that's how I started. I met Mark Stewart, who was another person that after Acclaim's Booker, we went with him and Slim, and then I started going up to the top with this guy Mark Stewart. He was a movie music producer / businessman, and I signed up with him, me and my brothers.
Yeah, I know. The other part of the question was your debut, your first fight. Yeah, take it. Yeah, take us back to your debut. What was that like? The moment that you stepped into the boxing ring?
I don't know if it was Mark. No, it was a big dude. My first fight. Okay, yeah. So I had confidence and stuff because of Slim, my trainer. I was nervous as hell. My very first fight, I was nervous as hell. I'm the walkout bout. You know, they have the walkout bout. They have the beginning. The walkout bout is the last fight. So I'm up there waiting. I'm nervous as hell. I'm like, oh God, I'm nervous. Yeah, and then soon as they asked us to come out, I was like, I started walking. I was still nervous, and then the closer I got to the ring, the nervousness went away. There was this big dude. I forgot his name, Joey Adams.
Joe Adams. Yep.
It was Joey Adams.
Yep.
Oh, my memory is good. My memory is okay. So Joey Adams, and I was kind of worried, but then I had confidence in my trainer, and then I caught him with that overhand. And that was it. That was the beginning. That was the first knockout. Joey Adams. Yep. Wow. He was strong, but I got to him. To him.
First round knockout you did.
Yes.
Yeah. So take it. What was it like going to the Muhammad Ali camp? And obviously everybody knows Muhammad Ali, one of the greatest to ever do it in the boxing world. And he obviously one of the legends. And you guys looked up to him. Other boxers looked up to him. So just talk about what was like being part of his camp throughout your career.
Yeah, so we were in training camp. I think I was sparring with either with Saad Muhammad or Eddie Mustafa Muhammad.
Yeah.
It was either one of those two. And so a nice car pulled up in the camp. We were all training, and somebody looked at us, hey, there's a car, and they said, oh, Ali's getting out the car. Mm-hmm. So everything stopped. Everything stopped. Everybody started looking, right? And so Ali started coming towards the gym. So he came toward the gym. I was in the sparring. I don't know who I was sparring. Oh, I was sparring with Saad Muhammad, I think. Like I was sparring with both of them. And just I know it was Saad Muhammad, I think. Yeah. It could have been Eddie though. But so Muhammad came into the camp and we stopped. He said, no, keep going. So we started sparring. I was sparring with I'm not going to say who. It was either Mustafa or Saad Muhammad. I think it was Mustafa. Mm-hmm. Mustafa, right? So we sparred. So after the sparring session was over, it was Mustafa. After the sparring session was over, he came over to me and said, "Hey," he said, "I'm getting ready to fight Larry Holmes." And I said, "Oh, right." He said, "I want to hire you as my sparring partner." And I was like, okay. I said, okay. So I gave my information, I think, to Gene Kilroy, who was one of Ali's main man. Gene Kilroy was this white guy from Pennsylvania, and Ali trusted him, and he did a lot of things right. So they called me back. Camp broke, and they called me, and then I went up to camp to start sparring with him, with Muhammad Ali. He was getting ready for Larry Holmes. He was sick. He was sick. He should have never fought. So we came to camp. We started sparring and everything. So when we came to camp, everything was settled. We were sitting around, and then here goes sparring day. So when sparring day come, I got in the ring with him, and then I goes back. I sparred the first session. I said, Slim, let's talk to my trainer. I said, is something wrong? I mean, is he going to start opening up on me because he wasn't really putting out? So the next round, he was kind of weak, like, blah, 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 blah. I said, Slim, something might be wrong. He said, Tim, I know something is wrong. He said, yeah, we're going to figure it out. He was starting to get that disease.
Whoa.
Before he shouldn't have fought Larry Holmes. He was weak.
Okay.
He was weak. Yeah, he was weak. So as the sparring session was going on with me and him, I think Tony Tubbs was there too. Yep, Tony Tubbs. We noticed that he was declining. He was going down. He wasn't getting no better. So yeah, so I go back to the corner and Slim was like, look, don't hit him like this. He said, cuff it like that and slap. He said, yeah, Tim, he's easy to hit. Something is wrong with him. That's what I would do. I would just get him to the body all the time, but I wouldn't hit him in his head because we thought something was wrong with him. So I would go to the body hard. And he would just keep his hands up and go like this. Wow. And I come back and Slim said, Tim, something is definitely wrong with him. And we found out at the fight, when we went to Vegas, that later on that he was sick, so he should have never fought Larry Holmes. He was declining then, but I guess he needed the money, or people were pushing him so they can get money. So that was really sad part of my career. Witnesses the greatest of all times being sick while he fought Larry Holmes, and he took Larry Holmes' thing away because Larry wanted to beat the greatest. He wanted people to know that he was good enough, that he was worthy, and they took that from Larry Holmes. So if Ali was in good shape and good health, and Larry was in good shape and good health, Larry, if he would have lost, he would have felt good, but he didn't feel good about beating Muhammad Ali. He didn't feel good about it because he knew something was wrong too later, and he wanted to beat the great somebody that was sick. So he got robbed out of that greatness.
That's interesting. Wow, and that's what started his decline. Wow.
He was declined. I think he was going down before that. Yeah, he was losing weight. His weight was down, and you could tell he wasn't really focusing. He was just dancing around. He looked not clumsy, but he was like falling this way and falling that way. And I didn't hit him hard. I didn't make it hard. We just went through the motions, and that was it. He was sick when he fought Larry Holmes. So Larry got robbed out of beating the real Muhammad Ali.
Wow. Yeah, so you had throughout your career, you had Greg Page, James Smith, Tony Tubbs, Frank Bruno, Alfonso Ratliff, Al Cole, but you ended up fighting Larry Holmes also in your career for the WBC heavyweight title. So take us to that fight when you got to fight Larry Holmes, and what was that like for you? What was that like moment for you?
Well, when they first offered the fight, I went to my trainer. And I said, Slim, don't you think that's a little bit too soon? He said, right off the bat, he said, Tim, you're going to whip his ass. I said, what? He said, Tim, we're going to whip him. We're going to beat him. And I said, okay, because I trusted Slim. So that's what Slim said. And I said, okay. So we started training hard, me and everybody in our group, chopping wood, running the hills up at Ali's camp. We ate good food. We did everything right for the fight. And to show you how smart my trainer was, when it came time for the fight to start, we was in the dressing room. I'm skipping all the way up ahead. We trained, we really worked hard, we did a lot of stuff at Ali's camp, and then we went to the fight. Okay, when we got to the fight and we was wrapping hands, just to show you how smart trainers, these old time trainers was. Before the Larry Holmes fight, he said, Tim. And he was talking to the rest of the guys that's with us. He said, Tim, Bernard Hopkins' uncle, Artie McLeod, he was a tough dude. He was with us too. So he said, Tim, I'm not gonna wrap your hands yet. He said, I'm gonna go over there. He said, I'm gonna go over to Larry Holmes. No, this is what he said. He said, I'm gonna wrap your hands, but I'm gonna deliberately wait until they wrap Larry hands, and I'm gonna make them take them off. He was smart. So he stayed over there and he waited for Larry Holmes people. They came in and watched him And then after Larry Holmes, witnesser guy that was witnessing the rap, after he left, Slim waited. And this what happened. Slim said, okay, they probably wrapped his hands. So he went over there and he said, hey, y'all gonna have to redo them raps because I didn't see you do them. That's how smart Slim was. Larry Holmes went off. They got on tape. He said, as long as you black, you been out. He was cussing Slim. Slim made him take the raps off and do it over again. So that just shows you the sign of a good trainer. He made them take the raps off. Deliberately waited. And mentally too for us too, because they wrapped his hands. They rewrapped his hands and everything. He said, and then Larry said, it's on tape. Larry says, just as long as you black, you better never say nothing to me. He said something like that to Slim. That should show you, man. Those trainers, them old-time trainers, they not like the day's trainers. The day trainers, they okay, but not like the old guys at the old skills and today.
Mm-hmm. And that fight was in Las Vegas too, and
yes,
Las Vegas, and obviously you didn't win that fight, but you took him to.
It was close.
It was close, but I think they gave it to him. But how confident were you that you could win that fight?
Well, I learned after the fight, you just can't beat a champ like him or Tyson. You got to do more than just beat him to convince the judge. So you got a lot of guys boxing today. They do just enough, but you have to do a little bit more than just enough to get that belt, and that's what I learned. Okay, I felt like I beat Larry Holmes. A lot of people thought I beat him, but you just got to, he had that title for a while and everybody knew him. You can't just beat him. You got to do a little bit more than just beat him to convince the judges. And I think I did enough, but I think later on I realized I had to do just a little bit more, and they would have gave it to me. And
you returned later that year to fight Floyd Jumbo Cummings, who fought Joe Frazier in his last fight. So talk about fighting Floyd Cummings. He's another.
That guy was strong.
Yeah,
that guy was. Yeah, he was strong. He was strong. He didn't really box good, but if he hit you, you'll feel it. You'll feel it and everything. I fought a lot of guys that were sparring partners with other top guys and stuff, and I was told that gave me confidence. Like Floyd was sparring with other people. He'd been around bigger people, with names and stuff, and so I just wanted to go in there and do a good job, and I did. I did a good job, but he was strong. What round did I stop him in?
I think you did.
You should know.
Yes, I think it was the first, second round.
Did we go to distance? We didn't go to distance.
Oh, right? You didn't go distance.
No.
I think it was.
Right.
I think it was first or second round. I could be wrong, but first or second.
He was strong.
Yeah.
But he just didn't have the skills. He didn't have the skills. He was strong though. Slim taught me everything.
Yeah.
Slip, deliver, keep your hands up there after you throw punches. And a lot of boxers today, they throw a lot of punches but they lack in defense. They lack in defense nowadays.
Yeah, so before I get to your routine before every fight, I gotta ask you this: being from Philly, did you ever get to connect with Sylvester Stallone throughout your career?
Yeah. I'm the real Rocky.
Yep.
I was telling everybody that I was born and raised. Maybe 10 minutes from the Italian market where he made the movie, where he walked down the Italian market, him waving everybody. Me and my siblings used to go maybe 3 times a month there. No, when I was little, I used to go there like 2-3 times a week because it was a baseball field in back of there. Yeah. But to go shopping, my mom used to take us to the Italian market and buy different things and then go home. So the Italian market. Wait a minute, you asked me. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Did you ever connect with him throughout your career? Sylvester.
Yeah, well, in real life,
Yeah.
I'm the real two-time heavyweight champ from Philly. When they say the two-time heavyweight champ from Philly, Rocky Balboa, I did everything he did, the same exact thing. I won the titles. And um, 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 after after you said that,
Mhm.
I backslid a little, forgot
Okay.
again. I'm trying to do things. I'm trying to go fast. I'm trying to go fast. No. Now you said that. Okay, so I walked the red carpet with him.
Yeah.
I walked the red carpet with a lot of people in Philly. Don't realize that I did the same exact thing he did
Oh wow.
in real life. In real life,
Mhm.
I won the championship, all that, and I walked the red carpet with him in Vegas. Him and Michael Hasselhoff. They had the red carpet, and a lot of people don't really know that I did the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Same exact thing he did in the movie. So we're doing a documentary, and we're just going to try not really let people know about that. That's going to be in it, but really about boxing and my career and all the crazy things that I went through, all the good and bads. It's going to be a really good documentary because I traveled to England,
Mhm.
Ireland. I went to Indonesia. I flew to Indonesia with Ali on the private jet,
Mhm.
knocked the guy out. So it's going to be a whole lot of good stuff. Hey, and you're in it.
Yeah.
You're in it too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you. I can't wait to see it, and like,
Yeah.
and this is gonna be fun. And but speaking of your routine, like other, other players have their own routines in different sports. And what was your routine going before going into like a big match?
Well, chopping wood. They doing the hammer now. Chopping wood to me was really important before the fight. It gave me confidence. A lot of your arms will be strong. When the punch comes,
Yeah.
it bounce off.
Yep.
When you keep chopping, your breathing is good. Like I said, my trainer didn't let me lift weights.
Mhm.
And when I look back, I'm like, you know what? The sky is the limits. I don't know how far. That helped me. That would have helped me about a lift weights. So all we did chop wood.
Yeah.
We did push-ups, sit-ups. We ran. Um, we ate good. We ate properly. But I look back and see where if I would have did the things like had a fitness trainer,
Yeah.
I would have done a whole lot better than what I've done when I was fighting. So I do. I'm not saying regret, but I think about it. I say, man, only if I would have did those things, I would have been a greater fighter than I was, then. So I do look back at that, and I'd be like saying, "Wow, man! Yeah, if they catch us lifting weights, they would be mad at us."
Wow. Hmm.
Yeah, but now that's the norm. That's the norm now.
Yeah. So talk about being up there with Tyson, Holyfield,
Okay.
Larry Holmes,
Okay.
and then we were part of history at the GTSM shows, having Tyson and Holyfield being the first time ever in 6 years to sign together autographs in that event, and having Buster Douglas there too. All four of you
Yeah.
were there, and that was epic. And we were trying to get all four of you together, but we unfortunately couldn't happen. But just talk about
Oh yeah.
you talk
Yeah.
about being part of that boxing history, like with you and Holyfield and Tyson. Just talk about that history all together.
Yeah. It kind of snuck up on me.
Yeah.
That, realizing that all these guys, we were together, and I'm not greedy. I'm not selfish. And I enjoyed being around them guys. I'm not better than nobody. I'm not better than nobody. Even though I was heavyweight champion of the world, I'm not better than the next person because we all human beings. And I met Evander Holyfield several times before.
Mhm.
I met Buster Douglas maybe twice before that time. My brother Anthony, who was 14-0 with 14 knockouts. I hated the box. He was light heavyweight. He's older than me by 2 years, 3 years. I hated the box. He used to spar with my brother. These are the relationship. Tyson would spar with my brother Anthony.
Mhm.
You know, and you know, every boxer have a different way of talking about their history and everything. I'm just grateful that I didn't even think I was going to what? I never thought of being a heavyweight champ or a boxer. Maybe
Yeah.
some of those guys was like way before that thinking, yeah, I'm gonna be champ of the world. You know, I'm gonna be this and that. But Tyson, I was with Tyson. He was always generous, nice. Holyfield, I wasn't around. I
Mm.
wasn't around that much. Buster Douglas, I only met him like 4 times. Um, you know, but I know a lot of the older champions. I was around them. Marvin Hagler,
Yep.
uh, all those guys. I was around a lot of them. Eddie Mustafa, Saad Muhammad. Um, I was over in England with John Conte. Um, you know, well, Frank Bruno, we would call, you know, a lot of those guys and a lot of names that you would say. I was around them. I'm really blessed having the chances to be around these guys. Marvin Hagler was something. He was cool. God bless him. He passed away.
Yeah.
Eddie Mustafa, Saad Muhammad. The list goes on and on, man. Ernie Shavers. I was in. He was running Don King's camp. He was running Don King's camp. Made sure the boxers get up and run. He like, yo, you got to. But he didn't mess with like guys like me, Mitch Blood Green, and other top boxers. But he made sure the sparring partners everybody ran. But he ran the camp. He ran Don King's camp before he passed away. You know, and he was a really nice guy, hard puncher. He would get up, knock on the door, make sure we run. He would make sure he would make sure not us though, but like everybody else.
Yeah.
Like Blood Green and me, we were cool, but he would make everybody else get up. No, you got to run and stuff like that.
Wow. Huh. Interesting. Yeah. So you later on in your career, you accepted a fight with Bone Crusher Smith at I think it was Madison. The fight was at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Madison Square
No,
Garden.
but you know I fought him before that.
Oh yeah, you did before that. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I won almost every round. Almost any round. I was in good shape. But keep on talking about Bone Crusher, and then
Yeah.
I'll finish it off about the
Yeah.
New York.
Yeah, because that fight, what do you call? Sugar Ray Leonard was on the call for that fight on the broadcast team.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So what was that like fighting in
Well,
Madison Square Garden?
okay, so at that time, and this is the truth, at that time, we realized everybody. Okay, Don King one day drove into the camp. Was it a limo or was it a regular car? He drove into the camp, and he was calling everybody to come to the right in front of like where we slept. It's a brand new like buildings we had. 3 buildings. I slept in the first one, and it's brand new. So Don got everybody out. You know, everybody came out their room and was sat around Don. This is when we first learned about Mike Tyson.
Mm.
So Don was like to the heavyweights, me, Blood Green, Tony Tubbs, I forgot whoever heavyweights it was. There was all sitting. He said, "Y'all better get in shape.
Mm-hmm.
There's this tough boxer on display. His name is Mike Tyson." I was like, "Mike Tyson?" I said, "You know who that is?" They said, "No, they don't know who that is, right?" And I think Mitch Green knew of him, but that's when we realized Don King was trying to get Tyson, figure out a way to get Tyson. He's telling us to get in shape so he could line us up. Let me fight him, Blood Green fight him, if he could get him. He eventually got Tyson. He eventually, because he brought us in. He said, "Y'all better get in shape. I want to see y'all in shape. This guy Tyson, he ain't no joke. And y'all might be fighting him." So this is when we were saying he might be trying to get Tyson. And don't you know he eventually got Tyson? Yeah, he got Tyson. And whatever business they were going through, you know, they went through it. But I remember when when Don King first told us about him, and then he eventually started lining us up to fight him. So I fought. What happened was I fought Tony Tubbs. I won the title, but I tested positive marijuana. Sorry, everybody. Yeah, I tested positive. What it was, my birthday was December 27th, and I was fighting Tubbs on January the 6th or something.
Mm-hmm.
So there's these people outside. They was smoking weed, and I was like, "Oh, I got 10. I ain't gonna lie, I'm on this the first time." So I went over there and I took a couple of drugs, not thinking, and the fight only a couple of weeks away. I was like, I didn't even think about it till after the fight. So okay, I took a couple of drags, so I won the fight, but I tested positive, and I was like, oh my god, that was that little bit of weed I smoked, and so they took the title from me, said I had to give Tubbs a rematch. They took $50,000 out of my purse. That was the penalty, and then I had to give Tubbs a rematch. Okay, so I give Tubbs the rematch. Okay, so I'm training hard. Boom, boom, boom. So Tubbs got hurt or Tubbs got sick.
Yeah.
So they postponed the fight. Everybody else do when you don't have no fight in them, they'll just start relaxing and had a couple of drinks and just relax. And then all of a sudden Don King calls about 4 days after that, say, hey, the fight is still on. The fight you fighting Bone Crusher. I said, my obligation is to fight Tony Tubbs. He said, no, you fighting Bone Crusher. I said, we stopped training. A lot of stuff was going on, was I was angry about too. I was trying to figure out a way how to fight Don back, even though I know he liked me. He liked me, but he took our money. So we got together. I feel bad for Bone Crusher. We got our team together. I said, oh, this is time we got to leave. We got to get away from Don. So what happened was I got some help from some lawyers and stuff, and they were going to pursue some type of lawsuit or some type of fight against Don. And so I wasn't in shape, and I feel bad for Bone Crusher. So I was like, yo, man, I'm not getting hurt. I fought him already and I beat him, but I'm not in no shape. This is only the second time I talked about this on really in depth.
Yeah.
And I said, man, he a hard puncher. I said, matter of fact, I'm just tired of all this stuff that's going on with Don. Even though I love the brother, Don, I love him. I said, I'm tired of this. And a lot of other people around us was tired of it too. And so I said, yo, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go down. We're going to go down. What was it? The first round. I said, we're going to find out about the knockdown rule. This is true. Find out about the knockdown rule. And I'm going down in the first. And then we sued them after that. We sued Don. We had everything planned. So, and I don't, it's the truth. Bone Crusher really don't feel bad. He think he did it. But if you ask all my guys, they'll tell you, I was going to go down in the first. The best thing that happened in that fight, he knocked the teeth out that was messed. The tooth was loose.
Oh, wow.
He hit it and it was out. So if you can see on TV, I went like this and spit the teeth out. My brother picked it up and gave it to me. But I feel bad for Bone Crusher because he really think that he beat me. And we had a plan. We had a plan to go down. We made sure there was a 3 knockdown rule. And I wouldn't lie. Why should I lie right now? I would tell the truth if Bone Crusher really beat me. I wasn't hurt or anything. It was just planned that we had to plan. We planned it. It worked out all right. We sued. We went in the lawsuit with Don King. We eventually had a settlement, but something happened where we had to take the settlement. So our lawyers must have talked to his lawyers. Something went down funny, so I just took it and got out of there. It was like we got like about 900,000, and I had to pay everybody, pay this and that. But the Bone Crusher fight, the second time I gave it to him, and he always said, "No, I knocked you out." I said, "Bone, I'm telling you the truth. If you knock me out, I would tell everybody that. That's what kind of guy I am." Everybody in my corner knew that I was going down. I was going down with the 3 knockdown rule, and after the third one, whatever, I think they stopped it. And I was one of the happiest boxers in the world after that. And we went on and pursued, suing Don King.
Wow. What a crazy story.
Bone Crusher. Why should I be on your show and tell lie? I would say, look, man, you know what? Bone Crusher really knocked me out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. I swear. Bone Crusher, I went down in the fight, and he think that he did knock me out because I approached him one time. He said, no, I knocked you out. I said, Bone, face to face. I said, look, Bone, we had a plan, and I had to do this, man. He said, no, I knocked you out. I said, okay.
Wow.
That's bad, man. That's bad that the
Yeah.
person, he won the title, and that's how bad things were, man. You know.
Yeah. Yeah. So before I let you go, I got two more things for you. You,
Yeah,
uh,
I'm
your
okay. Just you want to go? We go ahead. Come
your favorite arena to fight in, and also who are some of your favorite boxers to watch now?
Okay. My favorite arena. I was the first one that I was the I was the first heavyweight champ to lose in the Madison Square Garden. I like that, but um, I don't know. I did anywhere was cool with me, but the Garden was pretty nice.
Mhm.
Madison Square Garden, but then they had the Blue Horizon in Philly, which was a small venue. I lost to Marvis Frazier and the amateurs there, and I won some good fights there. And you wait a minute, what did you ask me?
Oh, the next part was who are some of the boxers that you like to watch now? And
Oh, well, okay. Some of the boxers I like Tank Davis and all those guys, but there's a lot of things I don't see. I see rushing all the time, just rushing and not relaxing like the old timers. They're beautiful. They come in, Sugar Ray Robinson,
yeah,
bing, 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 not just throwing punches everywhere, no defense. There's a lot of good boxers um, on these, during this era and this time, but there's not a lot of relaxation that the old times trainer teach you how to block so you don't have to rush all the time to throw punches because you don't have defense. A lot of those guys don't have good defense, and that's why they throwing a lot of multiple punches, and
yeah,
some of them getting caught. So we were taught to relax, catch, slip, slip, slip. They're not doing that today.
right.
They're not doing. They're just throwing punches, and that's how come you're seeing guys getting hit. And there's. I don't want these guys to don't like me, but there's limited knowledge with some of these trainers today. And a lot of them can't teach defense.
Mhm.
A lot of them can't teach defense, but they're like the boxers made them bigger than what they are because the boxers won them fights. The fighters won, and now they big, and everybody's sending their products to them fighters because the fighter won. But back in the day, they sent you to a trainer that really knew how to fight, like
Yeah,
Slim, Georgie Benton, all those guys. Those guys really knew how to prepare and relax.
yeah,
When I fought, I didn't speed. I didn't speed. Tyson was a speeder, but he was strong.
mhm,
But I just relaxed like the old time slip, bing, 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 bing,
yep,
bing, defense. Now they're just throwing punches and getting caught on the chin. So that's the difference nowadays. And a lot of the boxers, they don't really know who's a good trainer or not. They don't want to do no research. Don't know that Tim Witherspoon is
yeah,
sitting over there in his house with his daughter, making sure his daughter go to school. This guy with all this knowledge. Why don't they call him? I don't have to be in the corner. Just let me be in your camp.
yeah.
I don't have
You,
to get.
you,
I don't have
you'll be a great coach. Yeah,
to,
you'll be an awesome coach, Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's the money. It's the money that they're getting now, and and the boxers really don't know. The
yeah,
boxers know. I didn't know who was a really great Slim trainer, but I
yeah,
knew Slim was. I knew Slim, but and Jimmy Arthur, the Georgie, a lot of them were good. But nowadays you can't tell. You can't tell. You ask one of those guys that's training the top guys how many fights you had.
yeah,
Some of them didn't have none.
yeah, yeah.
Some of them had none. Some of them only had 13 amateur fights.
Wow.
Some of them only had six pros and a couple of amateur fights. But I got a good record. I
Yep,
got a good record, and I did pretty good. I don't have to be in the corner. Just let me be in your team.
yep.
And I don't want to. Everybody know the champ. You know, they know me. A lot of people know me. And I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. Just let me help you. That's all.
Yeah, you be a great mentor to these boxers and coaching them to become better. So you'll be a great mentor. We should definitely reach out to some of these boxers if they're interested for you. And um, Actually, I'll give you two boxers that I like to watch real quick. I like to watch Shakur Stevenson.
Shakur, yeah.
And I also like to watch Nico Walsh, who's related to Ali family.
Nico.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Wait a minute. Is that Ali's Nick?
Yeah.
What's his record now? Didn't he lose?
I think I don't know his record.
You talking about Ali's son?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was pretty aggressive and everything, but I felt that once he get down the line, I think things were going to be a little hard for him. When was his last fight? You don't hear too much about him no more.
He's only 24 years old.
Oh, okay.
His record is I don't have the I'll bring it up right now. But his record is
Nico, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, he has okay, he has 11 wins right now.
He slowed down because he was going fast.
Yeah.
You still undefeated?
Yeah, but he's only 24, but he has 2 losses. So
okay. I knew that was going to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to watch him and Shakur Stevenson. Those are my two.
They're your two guys. There's a Bruce Ennis is a power. Bruce Ennis and there's a lot of other good ones out there. There's a lot of good ones out there, but you can see defects.
Yeah.
When I see them fighting, I can see where the old timers would have straightened that stuff out. They'd have straightened it out. And like I said, offense is just as important as defense.
Yeah.
And all you see is a lot of offense now. And you can't tell if they don't have defense because they get the guy out there fast.
Yep.
You get him out there fast. But it's the fight, if it's a hard fight and it goes long, then you can see what they're missing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'll be looking, I'm just like, oh man, okay, he better get that right. Because somebody gonna catch him.
Yeah.
So this is the type of stuff that older, like guys like me, and there's a lot of other ones, Mustafa, you know, we could see things like that. And I see it and I was like, man, only if I was around them. I don't have to be in the corner. Just let me show you a couple of things. And you keep on doing with your trainer, especially defense, because I was good at defense.
Yeah.
I'm like this, well, you can't hit me. Oh, throw the hook here, you know? And I let everybody know that the Philly shell, you heard the term Philly shell.
Yeah, yep.
This is all the Philly shell is. Wait a minute. This is all the Philly shell is.
Yeah, oh yeah, like this, yep.
With your hands on your temple and your elbows in here like this.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Philly shell, everybody. Not all this stuff. Yeah. Not all it. Yeah, get your elbows against your elbows got to go against your body. They're too far right. No, put them here. Yeah. Put them here. Go like this, and then put your temple on here. That's the Philly shell, but you got to leave these here so you can see. No, that you see these? Leave them on the side, like that. That's the Philly shell. All this is not the Philly shell. Yeah. See, the older guys in Philly, you say, get in your shell. And this is all the shell was, this. Now you got everybody all over the world thinking this is the Philly shell.
Yeah.
That's not the Philly shell.
Nope.
I'm a witness. I watched the old heads doing the shell. And when they say go in the shell, they do this, or some of them be doing like this too. Mm-hmm. But the shell is basically this.
Yeah.
That's all. So everybody got the term Philly shell wrong. I'm from Philly, South Philly, and everybody's saying Philly shell. When I was going to England, and they would say, hey, the Philly shell. And I seen everybody trying to do all this. And I was like, that's not the Philly shell. All the Philly shell is, it makes sense too. A shell is this. A shell, and you can crack it open, right? But this is the shell. Why would I leave it out here? That's not a shell. Why would I do that? That's not a shell. This is a shell. That's your shell.
Yes.
Right on your show.
Let's go. So there you have it. My good friend Tim Witherspoon, 2-time heavyweight champion in the boxing world. Go follow him. And guys, stay tuned for the documentary. Looking forward to seeing that documentary. But thank you for joining the show again. And
we're gonna do it again. We can do it again.
And also we'll do another. We have to catch up again soon in person.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but thank you for joining. This was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.